All right, so as promised, we're going to jump over to these wheels. So let's isolate those, turn off perspective, and let's go ahead and turn off, where is it? Turn off our dynamic subdivision. So first off, let's hide all the ones we don't want. Go ahead and turn off symmetry for now. Hide that one. Okay, so this is the one we want. Right now, if we were to break these up into segments, you know, there's 8 pieces that go all the way around, which is helpful. Don't want the center piece here, so let's delete that. And you'll see momentarily why it's important to know how many pieces you have, because we're going to use radial symmetry and different things to help out. I really want it to be a smaller piece. So, you know, there's 8 pieces. I want to break it into 16. I still had hidden geometry. So this is a good gotcha. Help you out here. So first of all, we want to delete everything that's hidden. So we'll do that. Delete hidden. Now if we try the dynamic subdiv, it'll work. Okay. So now if we hit divide, it did what I wanted. It's a smooth version. Right now it's just a preview, so we need to delete the lower, and then it adds in that extra definition. Now we've got slightly more geometry than I want in different places, so I'm going to delete some edge loops. Delete that one. We don't need these tiny little guys for right now. Don't think we want this one. This one. Okay, so when these are close to being a cube, which is good for what I'm trying to accomplish here. Okay, so now we want to snap this into the right position. So look at your little 3D head up here. That's the position we want it. So the front wheel of the car, right? We just want single quadrant for now. So let's remove, gotta make sure we don't mask. Try this again. Remove these areas we don't want. Okay, do it again. And we did the mask. It's a little finicky. Okay, so we're seeing what we want. That's good. Let's go back to geometry, delete hidden. Okay. We can go like this. Yep, everything's visible. Okay, now we want to enter into different form of symmetry here, because we've got X symmetry on and we want it on local symmetry, so you can see it's working how we want. We're gonna imitate the pattern that we had on the seats, that diamond pattern. You know, these are a little tall to be actual rectangles to squares. They were rectangles, now they're closer to squares, let's say that. Okay, and then we're going to insert a point into each of those. Boom, boom, and boom. Okay, and so you can see the pattern we'll be making as a result, right? Now we're going to delete these edges that we don't need, turn it to just single edge. We don't want to try and delete edge loops. Oh. Just go in and make all these quads. So now they're quads, 4x4 polygons, no tris. Obviously these ones on the edges are triangles. Okay, digging it. Now to polygon actions, inset, and we want to do each polygon. And then we're going to do polygroup all, because this blue area is what we want. So we'll just click click on one of those and drag it in. There we have it. Okay, let's just inset them one more time. Okay, and it should be a lot cleaner, which is good. But for now, rather than extruding these green squares, we're just going to use QMesh. We're going to bring them forward. So initially it's going to look like it's extruding them, but if we hold down Shift, it's just pulling them forward. So if we were to turn off our polyframe and turn on Dynamic Subdiv, you can see kind of what's going on there. So those are weird little round knobby tire type things. So, you know, there are tires that look similar to that for sure. So if that's what you're looking for, then you're done. Skip on to the next part where we radial around the hub or whatever. But I think I'm going for something that looks more like this. So how am I going to go about doing that? Well, I need to add more geometry, more edge loops, but with the way this is currently set up, I tried that already because I did a test before jumping on, and it started messing things up, adding way too many, creating weird patterns, and I think it has to do with the fact that it is connected here. We're gonna do something crazy, and this is why we work in just a piece rather than the whole wheel at once, because these things that we're having to do, we don't want to necessarily have to do it all the way around the wheel. Just do it in one section. So we're just going to delete this whole poly loop here. So now it's no longer connected, but we have the walls still in place, so we'll be able to bridge them back together when the time comes. All right, didn't get the edge, because when you're dealing with a little surgery like this, you kind of don't want to mess things up. But yeah, see how I'm just merging to this center piece. You may be able to accomplish something like this with your modified topology, you know, weld, and we might still want to run that just because not 100% sure that we're not sandwiching some extra points into areas we don't want it to be. But I am happy this seems to be working pretty well so far. Don't jinx it. Remember, the second point is where it will weld to, so you want to look that last. All right. Oh, one more. Did that just do what I think it did? Freaking snap. Oh my gosh, why didn't I realize it did that? That's beautiful. Well, that would have saved us some time. It snapped. Cool. Now let's run our modified topology weld points. Okay, should be good then. Alright, we got some janky poly groups going, but otherwise it's going good. So really the only section we're really focused on is kind of one tile basically. So could do 1/16 or 1/8. You know, I want to do something in the middle, not an edge one, because it's not gonna tile right. So let's do, you know, less is more, right? So we're gonna focus on just one of these 16ths sections. This one doesn't have any weird poly groups going on, so that's good. But let's go ahead and insert some edges, shall we? To tighten things up. Yeah, see how it did this little loop-de-loop? It's kind of a problem. So I think before we do that, let's kill these edges that are the weird ones. Let's see if that helps. Alright, still did the loop-de-loop. Well, let's see if that's gonna be a problem. So far, we're okay. It's these triangles at the end, isn't it? Okay. Let's kill those too. Whoop. Now let's try it. There we go. It's actually okay, I think. We just look at this section. Looks pretty good. This, we could use our slide tool, potentially fix things. Even them out, if you will. We need to get rid of the stuff we don't want, right? Alright, that's how it should look. On that side. Now for this side. Remember, we're just keeping 1/16. Boom, we got it. Okay. Now we need to patch these up. And see if bridge will do that. Oh. Delete hidden. Come on now. Good job. Now it should work. Here's my... Whoop. Not a triangle. Okay. Let's try bridge again. Yes. Thought bridge would treat me right. It's those little things, those little gotchas that, you know, you've done it before, but then you're not thinking straight. So just know, happens to everybody. So now that area is going to be a nice tileable area, I believe. Pretty good. But now we've got this area. But as you'll see, we've got 3 edges that need to connect to a single edge. So what's the best way to handle that, right? I mean, we could add more detail here. Definitely a possibility. But that can also cause troubles. Another thing we could do is terminate it in an interesting way here, which is what I think I'm going to try. So, and it might actually turn out nice for a wheel type scenario. You can see this side is like the front of the wheel, or one of the, no, it's got an extra edge loop in there already, so let's add one in here just so keep the wall of it a little cleaner. Okay, and then we're gonna go Inset. Oh, we're on the wrong setting. We need to be on single poly. Okay. Bring that. We're gonna change it anyway, so just kind of curious to see what would give me out of the gates, if you will. So we want to delete this one. Okay. Now, probably just want to move this edge forward. Oh man, move auto radius stuff. That's interesting. For some reason I don't ever use those, but it'd probably come in handy. Okay, so we did that. Bring it up to a place where it's pretty much even. Okay, and let's do that. Those two steps on the other side. Inset. Delete. Move this edge. And we're gonna bust out the bridge. Bridge edge. Bridge edge. And then boom, boom. Boom, boom. See that? Stitching it back together. Aren't you glad you didn't sign up to do that all the way on all 16 pieces, all those steps? So now comes the fun part, but kind of the another tricky part, if you will. So let's go to menu, back all the way out to the root level, go to transform, and you got these symmetry options. No, I'm on the wrong one. Sorry, geometry, ArrayMesh. It's right under geometry. I was getting two things confused. Okay, so got this piece, ArrayMesh, and let's keep this open. So we'll grab this little tab up here, which will keep this open for us. Now we can change the shape of it a little bit, maybe hide that. So now, yeah, we're dealing with a small little area that's staying open. Okay. Hit ArrayMesh. Okay, we don't see anything happen. Go ahead and lock position. And we got our repeating, and I believe we want to do 16 here. Still nothing, right? First time I tried playing with this, I was like, okay, what is going on? But now you play with some of these and you can see something going on. Okay, but these align options, align mesh options, try just cranking the Y and the Z for now, and then play with, okay. Oh, that's why. Rotate. There we go. Okay, and let's do 360, right? Because that's a circle. Alrighty. So that's kind of a cool looking wheel right there. That's not what we're looking for, but hey. So now that we have this, you can see how these align mesh options kind of affect that. If we get out of solo mode, you can see we've kind of lost, you know, our alignment to the hub here, but we use our Gizmo 3D. Hold down Alt to bring it a little closer to where we're working, we can move this around and see some changes. Okay, and remember that lock position? That gives me the ability to change things around, but if I uncheck it, now when I move, we can reposition it around the hub, and we'll use that as a guide for where things are going to be. So we'll lock position again and just reposition this guy until we get things lined up how we want them, right? So we're pretty darn close. Things aren't lining up perfect, but if you'll remember, it's because when we were trying to weld points together, they weren't quite behaving. But this is really close. So let's go into isolate mode again. Just look at the gap here. So it's pretty slim. So now we want to commit this to a mesh. Down here at the bottom, convert to mesh options. Just turn off extrude, click make mesh. Boom. It is made, with the exception of, the fact that there's still 16 separate pieces, right? So what are we going to do there? Well, that's where our mesh integrity comes in. But, this is a pretty big gap here. So whatever can we do, right? It may work, but just in case it didn't, I'm going to show you one way we might be able to fix it, all right? So let's change this to move, and then we're going to go back out of here to transform. This is kind of what I was doing originally for some reason. Turn symmetry back on, turn radial symmetry, turn the count to 16, because that's the number we have going on, right? You can see it's offset, right? Do local symmetry. There we go. See how my symmetry is lining up perfectly around the x-axis? That is what we want, my friend. So now we've got our, let's turn off bridge, and we've got our move ZModeler set on. And now we can just move these together, and let's get a feel for which way we want to go. Do we want to, yeah, we want to move this down. So I'm going to get up close and personal, grab this point, start to drag it, and look, snapped right into place. Beautiful. And our other side is already good. It was just that one side that was off, and we did all of them at once, all the way around, all 16. Okay, but we're not finished. We need to merge some of these gaps here. So this gives us a good idea what's going on. Again, we could just move these and weld them one by one, but we're going to use modify topology. So tool, let's expand this back out, geometry. We got weld points. I'm not exactly sure. Let's go on the low side, like just around 1. Hit weld points. We can look at this number. Okay, it welded some, but we can see these ones sure didn't get welded. So crank it up to close to 3. Oh, saw some movement over here. And the danger is we could weld stuff we don't want to weld, right? Just a very possibility. Okay, that one moved, but not this one. So that's kind of a big gap. Let's just manually do that, and we're still set to our mirror radial. Come to this side, do the same thing. that worked. Let's just do a quick little inspection. It looks like things are good. Surprisingly, right? Okay, well, how can we tell for sure? Well, let's turn off polyframe. Turn on Dynamic Subdivision. Oh baby. Yeah, we got some problems, but we got some good stuff going on too. So this whole side is golden. Part of this side, which was probably the janky side to begin with, there's some areas that didn't quite link up. So let's see if we can fix that. Let's go back to this view here. And these little orange guys should be right on top of each other. Let's see if we can do this. Yep. Inside of this mode, we got a couple of them. You know what? I'm gonna turn off symmetry altogether and just do these one by one. Boom. Boom. I love that this thing welds together. Why did I never... Maybe I did realize that once upon a time, but I've forgotten. Boom. Welding those boys together on the fly, which is how it should work, right? I like it when things just work. Okay. Cleanish wheel going on. Okay, now if you'll notice, we got some seams, so some of these don't look as nice as the others, right? So if we turn our symmetry back on, we might be able to fix that with our handy dandy delete edge, right? So let's do nothing, go to delete, single edge, boom, delete, delete. And if all is good, then we were able to do that all the way across the model at once. All those little red squares look like they're no longer tries. So this is the beauty of freaking ZModeler in conjunction with good old radial symmetry and all that. Cool, so we can continue to work with it here a little bit. I really like where this is, so I'm going to save it now because I've been known to mess things up. But I want to use my move and keeping symmetry on. I want to kind of move out these areas. You can see kind of the pattern. So holding down Alt, grabbing the center, kind of puff those out, and it's doing it all the way around at once. Let's increase size a little bit, all the way around at once. Beautiful. Beautiful. Could try a little smoothing, but probably won't like this. Oh, barely touched it, and it turned out great. Good. Let's go to this other side. Just kiss it. Oh yeah. Could have been better. Just tap it. There we go. Cool. So that's a kind of a clean looking little wheel for a cartoon car, right? Look at that. One clean wheel coming right up. Oh, and now we can see even better that these are still inflated, or whatever, deflated. So what happened there? Well, obviously symmetry tain't perfect, so jump around and try A little more, holding down Alt. Pull that out, pull that out. Spin around it. Maybe we'll turn off symmetry at this point. So while this is a little time consuming and you wish things would just work out perfect, this is not bad. Could be worse indeed. I'm sure there's someone out there that can drop a comment and say, well, if you would have done this after this step, it would have brought things back into true place. Alright. Feeling better about that. Cool. It's a happy day.